Hello, everyone. On this Saturday, almost afternoon. Um, yeah, it's great to be here and to give you guys more information. It's my love. So, I hope you guys are ready to talk about kind of a touchy topic. I do feel like I don't know when it comes to this topic of the male loneliness epidemic. Sorry, got tongue tied. Um, it's almost kind of like we're walking on eggshells, and also the people who are mentioning it are talking about it in a derogatory way instead of in an uplifting way, in a problem solving way, in a okay, let's we know these are the stats, but let's get to creating a solution. So, yes, this is what this live is about. So we will talk about actual statistics of why my notes over here of why this whole male loneliness epidemic occurred and is occurring currently, and also stress, how that affects it, and yeah, all of these things, and how you can combat it or fight back with herbs and with lifestyle changes. Okay, so just to give you like some of the stats when it comes to the male loneliness epidemic. Statistically, okay, these numbers were pretty shocking to me, because honestly, as y'all go through life as men, it seems as if y'all are just kind of like there's just no excuses, right? So you're not particularly complaining, especially publicly. I'm not even sure if y'all complain to your friends or your family members. So, yeah, let's go into the stats just to see how the community of men is doing with this and why we're calling it a male loneliness epidemic and how it affects the bedroom, right? So 15% of men have no close friends. And this might seem normal because, as I said before, you guys seem to just be kind of walking through life and just like chilling. But this is 5 times worse than 1990. 5 times worse. So we're in 2025, so that's about 35 years ago. 5 times worse. That's craziness, right? This is based off the American Perspective Survey. So that was in 2021. All right. So that was even less of time than 2025. Hopefully it hasn't gotten worse. But it could have, right? Now, 2 out of 3 of young men say no one really knows me well. So, on top of the fact that you don't have any close friends, you may not even feel like men might not even feel like their family members know them, even their significant others know them. I've heard this just like in passing that a significant other may not give you what you want or may not do the things that you really truly desire, or might, I mean, it could be like something small, like let's say your partner doesn't is a cook and she doesn't cook you what you want or something like that, and you kind of express it many times and then you kind of just like go with it or whatever like that. And so it it's like it's not a big deal, which I do understand to a point that it's really not a big deal. But if it continues and it infiltrates every part of your relationship, then it reflects that, oh my gosh, I don't think this person that I love or that I'm with, that I'm doing life with, even knows me. Like, that's crazy, right? That will make you feel lonely when you're with someone. That affects emotions. Emotions are a huge deal, not just for women, but for men as well. 40% of men show depressive symptoms. 40%. That is almost half of the population of men. And that is just what's being seen on the outside. Um, 44% report suicidal thoughts. And this is based off of a 2023 study. Okay. So it's huge, right? So, loneliness or emotional dysregulation or emotional uh I want to say like emotional dysregulation, but more so emotional, like you're not able to, you uncontrollable, right? You're not in control of your emotions, leads to heart disease. And heart disease, issues with your heart is the number one killer of all of us, right? And it increases chances of stroke. and just premature death in for any case. Okay? So, emotional regulation is huge for men. Stress, regulating stress is huge for men. And I think it's more so huge because it seems as if that's not an important part of your health and your well-being, but it's an extremely important part of your health and well-being, including how your testosterone is thriving, including how your blood flow is flowing. That's why stroke, okay? So heart disease, including how your prostate is functioning, literally all of your physical processes are connected to your emotions and your stress levels and how you feel like, oh, I lonely, depressive state. Okay. So these are like big things that we kind of talk about. And I've seen this like on Twitter and stuff, y'all. And it's like, it's very it's more so talked about in a way like, oh, this is why these men are lonely because they act this way, or because they don't do this, or because such and such, whatever. But it's extremely important to talk. Those things are heartless, but I mean the internet can be heartless, right? But it's important for us to also talk about how you can overcome these type of emotions by having certain lifestyle changes. I mean, it's so many things that you can do. It's kind of crazy how you can actually naturally boost yourself without having your outside change you, right? Like the outside does not, you cannot change other people, but you can change what you're doing, and it literally can change your entire outlook of life. And then, therefore, it changes your body processes. It changes your health. It boosts your health. It boosts your testosterone. It boosts your blood flow. It boosts your confidence in the bedroom, your performance in the gym, your goals. Like you want to get stuff done. And instead of feeling like you're not anything, you feel like, oh, I'm a Superman. Okay. So these are the herbs. Well, let's first, before we talk about the herbs, no, I'm gonna talk about the herbs first. We're always here for herbs. These are the herbs that can help boost yourself within instead of simply instead of worrying about what's happening on the outside. Okay. I know you guys have heard so much about ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is king right now when it comes to regulating your emotions and helping you have a more complete outlook of life, right? Ashwagandha is excellent. Ashwagandha lowers cortisol, it lowers blood pressure levels, it boosts muscle strength, it boosts performance, it boosts blood flow. It's such a multi-use herb. It's excellent for regulating your emotions, regulating your health, and making you feel like you have hope. You know, um, instead of succumbing to the pressures that are around you or the perspective that is shared among at least half of the male population. Ashwagandha is great. That's exactly why I included it in. I have it in my blood flow tea, but I also have it in my stiff and strong blend with Tonga Ali and black maca, which we'll get to in a second, um, because of its ability to adapt to your need, your emotional need. Consistency is key. So it's not a one-time thing. It's not a magic pill. We get kind of confused with that because we're used to that. The magic pills that make oh, here we go. Oh wait. We get used to the magic pills that we have grown up with taking, and how we want things to work immediately, right away, But it's more about consistency. It's more about introducing these herbs to your body, having a balance a balanced foundation that they can attach themselves to and work well with you. And so you want to do other things to keep yourself healthy and balanced, but you also want to supplement with herbs. They do wonders, right? So what I always suggest is that you add about like A teaspoon, if you get it in a powder form, which is my stiff and strong blend, you can add it to your coffees, your smoothies, your juices, and you can enjoy it that way. I also offer in a pill to make it even more easier so you can get past the taste. But these herbs I offer so that you are able to regulate your body, your emotions, so that you can push forward and do it joyfully. Okay, and with little weights, like you won't feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. You'll be able to have a different perspective because the herbs are helping to regulate you and to relax you, so that you can see more than you would have seen if you're in a corner, you know, backed into a corner between a rock and a hard place. You won't feel that. You'll be able to be free, and so you'll be able to have a clear mind and a clear heart. Okay? So also black maca. Oh, y'all, I know y'all have heard about black maca. Black maca is excellent for this because it is also an adaptogen. It also boosts your libido. It also boosts your blood flow. It is tried and true. I know when I don't mention it, I mention it, but people put it in the comments. They're like, "Oh, black maca too. Oh, this, and this." I'm like, yeah, black maca is excellent, excellent for making you feel balanced, and balance is key. When you're balanced, when things are balanced, like imagine a scale. You have one thing. I don't know. Let's say you have something. I don't know. Let's say you have I don't know, you have a weight on one side and then you have another weight on the other. One could be a negative situation, one could be a positive. If you feel balanced and you feel like, okay, if I'm balanced here, if I'm here a good here, then I can tackle this negative situation over here, right? But if the negative weight is weighing you even further down, then you might feel like I said, you're back into that space where you're not able to tackle life, which is all a man wants to do instinctively. Like a lion, you want to tackle life and you want to succeed and you want to win, right? So black maca is amazing for that, boosting your mood and boosting your energy. Okay. Now, Tangarali, I talk about Tangarali a lot because it is literally, I feel like that herb was literally made for men. It was literally made for you guys so that you guys not only are regulated in your body, like your male body, your male reproductive system, but also just all around. Men's bodies are made up of muscle, more muscle than women. You guys can pack on the muscle, and that's for reasons biological. You want to be strong, you want to protect, and you want to cover. And if you are in a depressive state, if you don't feel like you can tackle your emotions, then you're not going to feel that you can protect. You won't feel that you can perform. So Tonga.ly helps with that. Helps to boost your testosterone and to boost your life, right? And that is literally why I have put that in my stiff and strong blend. All three of those herbs are in my stiff and strong blend. Ashwagandha is in my blood flow tea among other herbs that balance it and give you that peace as well and give you that sense of calmness and mental clarity. But all of these herbs are the top three that we have talked about today. Ashwagandha, black maca, and tangadali are all in my stiff and strong blend to keep you stiff, of course, but to keep you strong and mentally, emotionally regulated, highlighted, boosted, and ready to go. I find like I do find that there is a mask that you guys put on so that you do not seem to be weak in certain areas. And it's important to not necessarily that you don't have to put that mask on, because I do think that that is part of the male makeup, but to know that, but for that you, but for you to know under the mask that you are being proactive in keeping yourself regulated, strong, emotionally, physically, mentally, and even spiritually. Okay? So I want to talk about foods as well. Okay, because what helps your brain to work and work well is oxygen, is healthy fats. So like omega 3s, those are excellent for brain health. I was I always make sure that I have healthy fats so that my brain works well. I love a good working brain. And a great functioning brain is essential to male health and to testosterone. Okay, it is essential to your body processes and to your overall balance of cortisol levels and dopamine. All of these things are regulated by your brain. So you want to feed your brain. You want to feed your brain so that you are able to flow and to boost yourself. Okay, in that way. Omega 3s, where can you find them? Avocados. Excellent source of omega 3 fatty acids. And they're delicious, like even in a smoothie. If you don't like them, like actually like on toast or something like that, which I have a recipe coming up tomorrow morning for some detoast. So, anyways, and it features avocado. So omega 3s are excellent. You need these fats to build testosterone. It's important for testosterone. Um, and also what was I gonna say about avocados? But anyways, you need healthy fats to boost testosterone, just the balance. I mean, the building block of testosterone is healthy fats. So, avocados. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you don't want it on like toast, if you don't like the taste, you can put it in a smoothie, and it literally just like makes it more creamier. You can't really taste it. You put your fruits and stuff like that in there, banana and berries and stuff like that, and milk, whatever milk you choose. It'll be delicious and it'll be extremely nutritious. Okay. Salmon is an amazing source of omega 3 fatty acids, which builds the brain, which builds your emotional regulation, will promotes emotional regulation in your body, and also builds testosterone. Yes, it will boost your mood. Simply just eating these foods. It's actually kind of insane how herb like. Um. Oh, what the heck? I don't know how to do this. Okay, it's amazing how herb like fats are, like, extremely. Herbs are I mean, foods can be like herbs as well. They are. So, the difference between herbs and foods are that herbs are more like you have to manipulate them a bit so that you can ingest their nutrients. So, like, with tea, let's say, okay, let's take my blood flow tea that I mentioned with the ashwagandha in there. That's great for your emotional regulation. You have to steep the tea or put it in water and let it sit so that it transfers the benefits to the water, and then you have to drink the water. Because if you were just like to chew on the leaves, the way that the plants are made up, you will not absorb nutrients as well as if you don't if as well as if you transfer them to water. So that's what makes herbs different than foods. You can just like eat foods. I had to put that on the back of my package because it does seem like you can eat them, but I'm like, no, you don't eat the herbs. You have to transfer them or you grind them very finely. Like with changarali, you couldn't necessarily eat the roots, but you can grind it very finely and then ingest it, and then it'll be able to penetrate, and then you'll be able to absorb the nutrients. So that's what makes herbs different than foods. But they're both extreme. The foods that you choose are extremely nutritious, and it worked to make sure that you stay balanced. That's the point of food. It is to be delicious. That's the perk. And I think nature has created delicious foods, and our brains have made them. We make them more delicious so that we will want to eat them, and so that we will want to be sustained. Um, just like how intimate activity, it feels good so that you want to reproduce, but that's not its primary goal. And so, as long as you stick with the primary goal and then make it, uh, well, with foods. As long as you stick with the primary goal in herbs and make it think of it as being fuel, then you can make anything delicious. Okay? So we talked about avocado is amazing for the brain and regulating stress. Um salmon and also eggs. They also contain omega-3 fatty acids. So whether you are vegetarian, vegan, or a meat eater, uh, then you can choose from a multitude of different herbs and foods. Well, should say foods. You can choose from a multitude of foods that have omega-3 fatty acids, which emotionally regulate your body, which boosts testosterone. Emotions need to be regulated so that your testosterone is balanced and at the level that it should be so that you perform wonderfully. Okay? So make sure to incorporate these herbs and these foods. I'm going to hit a few Q&A questions that I got from my broadcast channel on Instagram. So if you're not on Instagram, go on Instagram, follow me there, and add yourself to the broadcast channel. I have two, but I need to get rid of that other one. It was focused on when I was talking more about relationships, which I don't talk about anymore. But I've we're sticking with male health because that's where I'm needed most. So if you go ahead and I think it's Herbs and Health, if you go ahead and join that broadcast channel, then you'll be able to interact a bit more and get inside information. Okay, and then ask me questions that you might want answered. So, question one, how does loneliness hurt emotions? Okay, so physically, how does loneliness hurt emotions? It spikes cortisol. Now, if your cortisol is up, especially if it's up continuously, you are killing your testosterone because testosterone is not important if your body feels like it needs to fight or run. Okay? You a lot of people get stuck in this space of I need to run and fight, and they feel like that is a normal space to be in at all times. It is not. I can tell how people act, like even on the road, how they're so angry at certain things, or if you're very like if you don't have enough patience and outside and everything is about like customers or something like that. I can see it there when they get so irritated off one little inconvenience or something like that. That's how you know that someone is in a constant state of high cortisol levels because they cannot bring it down. There's no clarity. There's no libido. There's no testosterone, you know? Even women need testosterone to balance our body processes. Not as much, of course. Estrogen is our girl, but yeah, you want to be balanced in both to make sure that you are not fighting or running from every situation, including the bedroom, including your testosterone levels. Uh, so yes, cortisol, you do not want it to be high. You want your cortisol to be balanced and you want your testosterone to be high. And the way that you do that is by emotionally regulating. And you can do that with your, of course, your healthy foods, your exercise, your sleep, um, your keeping controlling the stress that's around you. Do not take what you don't need to take, you know? And then also herbs that I mentioned before, ashwagandha, black maca, tangadali. Okay. So oh, I do get this question a lot. So I put it here. Safe to combine herbs. Is it safe to combine herbs? Yes, of course. I make blends because it's safe to combine some herbs, but not all. And it might not be it's also it might not be safe to combine herbs, but more so the herbs might cancel another out if you're combining them and they have different properties. So like if you have an herb that's more cooling and then you have one that's heating you up, you might need a cooling herb because you might be too hot. You might be experiencing inflammation, right? Or you might need a hot herb because you might be too slow. Everything might be too damp. That's how herbs work. Right? It's very cool. So you wouldn't want to pair the two because then they'll just cancel one another out and you won't receive as much of the benefits that you're seeking. So that's why I say uh don't combine herbs like make my blood flow tea and my iron D tea and put them together. I don't recommend that. Can you drink blood flow tea in the morning and iron D tea in the afternoon? Of course. Yeah, that works. But the blends are created specifically, intelligently, because I know them and I know what properties they have, and so I know what works best together. Because blends are very much an ancient practice and are recommended. That's why I do not sell herbs singularly because they work better when they work together, like we do as humans. The world reflects itself in many ways. Okay, so last question. Um, can you take vitamin D to boost your mood? Yes. This also goes along with stress and emotional regulation. You can completely take vitamin D. Vitamin D is an excellent supplement. It is also found in not herbs, because vitamin D isn't found in plant sources, but it is found in foods. Okay, so you want to think like meats, cheeses, things like that. Uh, grass fed, grass finished beef, but also your body takes the sunlight and it converts it into vitamin D. So vitamin D is not in the sunlight, but your body does create it through rays, the sun's rays. And so that's excellent. As we all know, taking a walk outside. I just mentioned this in my last YouTube video that I posted about yeah, what did I post? I can't remember. It's my last YouTube video. But anyways, the one before this one. But I talked about how go take a walk. Go take a walk in the morning, the evening, the afternoon. Get those walks in. Enjoy the sunshine because it boosts your mood. Oh my gosh, I have to look this up because now I need to know what video that was called. Oh no morning wood. That's what it was. Okay. So here's what to do if you don't have morning wood, because morning wood is essential. It's essential. It is not just for young men, or like young men, okay, right? It's for you throughout your whole entire life. So make sure that you're able to easily get erect in the morning. And so go watch that video. There's lots of information in that. Okay, so that wraps up my Q&A session. And yeah, I just want us to I hope that you learned how to use herbs and foods and activities that can emotionally regulate you. And yeah, you're able to take this knowledge and this information and apply it to your life so that you are not bogged down with emotional issues, or high cortisol levels, or like just being stuck because you feel like, I'm not doing enough. All of these things dysregulate your emotions. And yeah, it's best to take herbs that balance you so that you have a clear outlook and so that you have high testosterone levels so that you can experience all of the pleasure. Well, I will see you guys in the next live. So glad that you were able to join me in this one and share this live with anyone who you feel like will benefit from it. And if you just popped in, go ahead and like and subscribe. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye bye.